That's right. Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I am the best reporting on the Eagles. You see it right here. Super Bowl 52. We ain't gonna even talk about that too much though. Executive decisions have to be made. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. Executive decisions have to be made. You know, I believe executive decisions were made when we got all those defensive linemen the Super Bowl season and the year after, when we decided to have an attack in waves, when we had Haloti Nada not playing very much. In the beginning, when you had Michael Bennett splitting reps, a conversation has to be had, whether you like it or not. That same conversation with these cornerbacks, because I firmly believe the key to the backside of our defense is probably starting Avonte Maddox from day one. Some people just going to have to understand that. Like Jalen Mills is going to have to understand that. Ronald Darby is going to have to understand that. You know what I mean? Well, I think Ronald Darby will end up starting as well, but Jalen Mills and Sidney Jones will have to understand that. We'll have to understand that. As it goes for the cornerback depth chart, I think that, Jalen Mills, and I think Jalen Mills finds himself behind a few people, man. I think Jalen Mills only of the guys that played last year who are still on the roster, I think Jalen Mills only played better than Sidney Jones. And Sidney Jones was hurt, man. I think when Sidney Jones is healthy, he's better than Jalen Mills, but you only could judge him off by what you're seeing right now. I think Crevion LeBlanc showed that he deserves a spot in this rotation. Rasul Douglas. We got so many cornerbacks that deserve the start, let alone a spot in the rotation. So a conversation is going to have to be had. Listen, in short yardage downs, this is where I want you to excel. On pass plays, this is where I want you to excel. But still mixing it up from time to time. Because at the end of the day, you just cannot play this favorite game and have Jalen Mills just out there for 80% of the snaps. That's not going to work, man. You gotta play it by situational football, man. These cornerbacks got unique strong suits, like Rasul Douglas and Jalen Mills on the same field for short yardage down situations, like the red zone or the or goal line stands. Come on, man. It just makes so much sense. You don't want to have Ronald Darby in a goal line stand situation with you don't want to have Ronald Darby and Avonte Maddox in goal line situations. Simply because it's big receivers now. That's the way the NFL went. They went with big receivers. And you could just throw a fade route on Ronald Darby. Ronald Darby been crushed a couple times by fade routes, man, in the end zone. He even when he see the ball coming, he fast. He's there, but he not big enough to contest with a big receiver. So you got to have a Rasul Douglas or a Jalen Mills there. You know what I'm saying? I think Rasul Douglas can contest balls in the air better than anybody on the team. And that's why you got to play it like that. You know what I mean? And smart coaches will have that conversation, because at the end of the day, it's about winning. That conversation was had with the defensive line. It was had. They're all about, the defensive line, basically, they're all about helping Fletcher Cox. The interior guys, for that matter. They're all about helping Fletcher Cox. Malik Jackson says, next to Fletcher Cox. Vinny Curry, next to Fletcher Cox or Malik Jackson. They're all about helping each other, because these units work as a unit. They work the best when they're working as a unit. And that's just the way it got to be, man, if we want to be successful. Now, like I said, contract, like I was one of the guys in the beginning who was saying pay Carson now. And I'm excited to see that that's the kind of the direction that they're going. Whether Carson Wentz, if Carson Wentz get injured or not, Carson Wentz still helped this team get to a Super Bowl. He still helped this team get to a Super Bowl. This shirt would mean nothing. This shirt would be washed up on the beach in Kuwait somewhere if we didn't have Carson Wentz. This shirt would have nothing to do with the Philadelphia Eagles, man. I'm wearing this shirt today for a reason. It don't have our logo on it. It got the Super Bowl we won on it, though. Super Bowl. It got the Super Bowl we won on it, though. You know what I'm saying? This shirt would mean nothing if you don't even draft Carson Wentz. So you see what the Lakers did with Kobe Bryant after Kobe Bryant helped them be successful over the years? They extended him to a monster contract. They knew they wasn't going to win nothing else with him. They just paid him. They just broke him off. Like, thank you for your service. The Philadelphia Eagles broke off Nick Foles at the end of the Super Bowl season. At the end of the day, you still got to break off Carson Wentz for a multitude of reasons. Listen, you want Carson Wentz to feel assured that he's the guy. You want Carson Wentz to know he's the guy. You know what I mean? You took step one by letting Nick Foles walk. That was your big decision you had to make. You had to decide between Foles and Wentz. You took step one by letting Foles walk. I mean, you traded. I mean, you gave a lot up to get Carson Wentz, and Carson Wentz has shown that he didn't even hit his ceiling. He's shown that he didn't even hit his ceiling. Think about it like this, man. You know, Philly 500 did a really good video on Dak versus Wentz. I like the video. You know what I mean? It was a really good video. Check it out. Think about it like this. This is what I commented, and I think it's the pinned comment on that video. But anyway, I said something on the lines like this, man. You know, Dallas wants to pay Dak $30 million. The Philadelphia Eagles want to pay Dak $30 million. But one guy didn't even hit his ceiling yet. One guy didn't hit his ceiling. The biggest debate with paying Carson Wentz right now is his availability. But Dak has been available. The Dak you see is the Dak you get. He had 3 full seasons, injury-free seasons, and still didn't throw for 25 passes in a season. 3 injury-free seasons. Carson Wentz has had 2 out of 3 seasons where he didn't complete the season. But in one of those uncompleted seasons, he showed you an MVP. He showed you MVP capabilities. He showed you MVP capabilities and helped you get to that first seed. He showed you a lot. He showed you 33 touchdowns in an incomplete season. He showed you second in voting for MVP before he went down. Would have been the shoo-in for number 1 had he completed the season. He showed you an array of deep balls. He showed you the escapability. He showed you the mindset. He showed you that he could make every throw on the field. He showed you that. He showed you that. And then, you know, the biggest misconception with Carson Wentz is that he hasn't played the full season. Are we not counting rookie seasons now? You know, I've had people tell me, well, you know, he didn't play the whole full rookie season because he didn't play preseason. What? So we're going to go back and start counting the church little league football games that he missed, that he didn't play? We're going to count them as his career too? Come on, man. It don't make sense, man. It don't make sense. I just think the best is yet to come for Carson Wentz. I think Carson Wentz has a 40 touchdown pass season in his future. I think he has an MVP in his future. You know what I mean? The ceiling is there. The ceiling is there, but it ain't been reached yet. And a lot of these other guys have reached their ceiling. Like Russell Wilson reached his ceiling already. But Russell Wilson is a really good football player. A really good football player. Andrew Luck, I don't think Andrew Luck reached his ceiling yet. You know what I mean? Patrick Mahomes, I mean, how can Patrick Mahomes really have a better season than he had last year? He won MVP. You know what his ceiling is, so you got to pay him. He's an MVP. You know what I mean? And that's just how I judge these things, man. But like I said, back to my first point, I think the key to unlocking the defense is understanding who got to start, and I believe Avonte Maddox is one of those starters, man. Rasul Douglas and Avonte Maddox, man, just based off that chart I made alone, are probably the best 2 corners on the team, man, overall. But everybody got unique capabilities, and we got to see what works for us, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, man. The road to Super Bowl 54 begins.